Okay, in the previous class, I was explaining about the sources of data. The data is data required for the research and development or for the statistical investigation. For the statistical investigation, data is collected by means of two ways. That is called as sources of data. First is the primary data. Primary data means it is the data collected from the original source by the investigator. The investigator collect the required data from the original source without the help of intermediation or without the ready-made food. He collect the required data from the original source. That is called as primary data. And another one is secondary data. Secondary data means it is the data collected by the investigator with the help of already collected information. That means the information is collected by the other peoples or other agencies or the governments for their own purpose. Out of that information or data, the investigator collects the required data. That is called as secondary data. Okay. Primary data is the original, so from the original source. Secondary data is the data collected from the ready-made food. Means this data is already collected by the some other people for their use, for their purpose. And investigator collect the required data from the existing information. Okay. Then primary data is collected in the way of personal observation, direct personal observation. Direct personal observation means the investigator go to the required area and collect the information. That means in the direct personal observation, investigator first comes to know the availability of information, where the information is available, and then he go to the place or the area and directly collect from the opponent or the person who is having the information. For example, if you want to know the information relating to students' performance of GI Bagewadi College, then you go to the GI Bagewadi College and contact the students, collect the information. That is called as direct personal observation. And second is indirect personal observation. Indirect personal observation means whenever the investigator is not able to collect all the required data, whenever the investigator is not able to collect all the required data by his personal observation, by his personal observation, and the area is wide or he is unable to collect the data, at that time he follow the indirect way. Indirect way means he take the help of some other people for the collection of the data. For example, I am living in Nippani and I have to collect information from a place far away from Nippani. I am helpless to collect it. Then I take the help of my friends to collect the information from the required source, and that person is called as informer. Okay, I take the help of informers. That is called as indirect personal observation. Sometimes the investigator fails to collect information directly from the personal observations. Because let us consider, some students will not give correct information directly to the investigator. At that time, the investigator take the help of friends of the concerned student. That is the example, best example. For example, the students, some students are not interested to give correct information to the investigator. At that time, the investigator take the help of friends of those students to collect the information. That is called as indirect personal observation. And schedule. Schedule means on a piece of paper, he prepare the table or he prepare the forms, and that schedule is circulated among the persons or among the peoples who are having the information. And the concerned peoples or opponents will fill the schedule and submit to the investigator. That is called as scheduling. Preparing the schedule regarding the required information. Preparing this schedule means a table. Schedule means a table regarding the required information, and that table is circulated among the concerned people to collect the required information. That is called a schedule. Then information from correspondence. In some cases, we make correspondence to collect the information. The investigator may collect information with the help of making correspondence. By making telephone correspondence, or by writing a letter, or by any other means. Okay. Then last is questionnaire. If the required information is more, data is more, then the investigator prepare the questionnaire. Prepare the questionnaire means he list out the questions. And that questions list is submitted to the opponent or the person who is having the information. And that questions will be answered by the informer or the person who is having the information. That is called as questionnaire. These are the ways of collecting primary data. Okay. And secondary data is collected with the help of published sources and unpublished sources. Secondary data means it is the data collected by the investigator. Secondary data is collected by the investigator with the help of already collected information. The information or data is already collected by other peoples for their use. And out of that information, investigator collects the required information to him. That is called as secondary data. Then what are the sources of secondary data? One is published data, another is unpublished data. Published data means these are this is the information which is published in the periodicals or publications. It may be authorized by the government or unauthorized by the government, published in the newspaper, periodicals, monthly, weeklies, or government gazettes like that. It is published in the gazettes or newspapers, daily newspaper, weeklies, or quarterly reports, or annual magazines. That is called as published sources. Then unpublished source means it is the data which is collected by the people already for their use, but that is not published in any newspaper or in any periodicals. The data is called as unpublished data. Okay, unpublished data. In the published data, you remember reports and official publications. Reports and official publications of the government, international bodies such as International National Monetary Fund, that is also published data, and semi-government published data are municipality corporation, city corporation, Jilla Panchayat, and private publications are trade associations, then other financial institutions, body corporations. Like that, some examples are there regarding published data. And if you comes to the unpublished data, it may be data collected by the research fellows or by the government agencies but not published for their purpose. For example, the research student collect information for the research and development activities. Then government collect information for decision making, and the research institutions collect the information. They will not publish that. That is called as unpublished data. Okay, this is secondary and primary data. About this, you remember secondary and primary data. Okay. Next point comes techniques of collection of data. How to collect the data. Techniques of collecting the data. Here there are 2 points. One is census, another is sampling. In the collection of data, we apply 2 methods. 2 techniques are there. First technique is census technique. Second is sampling technique. Census means collecting information from all the members of the population. All the members of the population means the persons who are having our required information. You are going to collect the information. The information may be primary source or secondary source. But the technique applicable for collection of data is census and sampling. Census means you have to collect information from all the members of the population. Population means the members coming under the category. Population means the persons who are having information required to you people. That is called as population. Sampling means collecting collecting information from some part of the population. That is called as sampling. Okay, we see the census and sampling in detail. There are 2 important techniques of collection of data. One is census inquiry. What is census? Census implies complete enumeration of census inquiry. Census inquiry means it implies complete enumeration of each unit of the universe. Means you have to collect information from all the members of the population. That is called as census. For example, if you want to collect information from the students of GI Bhagewadi College, okay. Suppose you are going to collect information from the students of GI Bhagewadi College, okay. The GI Bhagewadi College students is called as population. Remember this. What is population? All the students. All the students collectively called as population. Okay. Your information, your area of study. Area of study is studying the performance of GI Bhagewadi College students. Okay. Then you have to consider total students of the college as population. Then if you collect information from all the students of this college, that is population, is called as census inquiry. Without leaving a single student. Without leaving a single student, if you collect information from all the students of the college, that is population, it is called as census inquiry. Census inquiry. Remember this. Okay. Primary data may be collected, secondary data may be collected. There are also two sources. Then the first technique of collecting information is nothing but collecting information or data from all the members of population is called as census inquiry. And what are the advantages of this? The first advantage is the entire population is studied and result obtained are most correct. If you collect information from total population, total members, then you will get most correct result or correct information. This is the first advantage. The entire population is studied. The result obtained will be most correct result. This is the first advantage. And second advantage is in the census, information is available for each individual item of population. You will collect or you go through the each individual and you know the performance and you know the information given by each member. Then it is the second advantage, that is information available for each individual item of the population, which is not possible in case of sampling. There is no need of sacrificing the information. There is no need of depending some other aspects because you collected information from all the members. This is the second advantage. And third advantage is if the data are to be secured only from small fraction of the aggregate, their completeness and accuracy can be measured. If you are collecting information from the small areas, then the completeness and accuracy can be ensured only with the help of collecting information from all the members. If you collect information from all the members, then there is satisfaction regarding completeness. Okay. Oh, I completed each and every item. There is no doubt. Like this, you can satisfied. Completeness and accuracy can be ensured. Whatever you collected, that is accurate because you have not left any item. This is this third advantage. And fourth advantage is the census mass of the data being taken into consideration and all the characteristics of the population is maintained in original. There is satisfaction regarding all the population is covered and data is maintained in original form. This is the fourth advantage. And regarding disadvantages, the main disadvantage of this census inquiry is a costly one and time consuming. It is a costly because if you want to collect information from each member of the population, it takes long time, and secondly you have to spend more amount. This is the first disadvantage. The cost of conducting inquiry by census method is very high. And second disadvantage is census method is not practicable in a very big inquiries. If the inquiry is very big, for example, if you want to collect the information from worldwide, if your information is spread worldwide, then to collect the information from all the nations, it is not possible because you are restricted to a certain region. Okay, so it is not practical if the area of population is very large. If the area of population is very large, it is not possible. And third disadvantage is in case of very big inquiries, the census method can be resorted by the government agencies only. And it requires additional finance. It requires additional finance. If there is a very big inquiry, then it is to be conducted by the government and it requires additional funds. For example, your government census, which is undertaken at every 10 years. Yet every 10 years, government of India undertake the census of our population. They appoint the staff and they spend lot of amount for census. This is the main drawback. And fourth, the drawback is all the items in the universe are to be enumerated and there is a need for training of the staff and investigator. This is the another drawback. Giving training to the staff and investigators is the difficult task. Suppose you started investigation all over the world, then before starting investigation, you have to give training to your staff and investigators. This is the requirement. Okay, you have to train your staff well in advance. That is also one additional job required. This is the disadvantage. Okay, that is the first technique of collecting the data. Technique of collecting the data, that is census method. And second technique of collecting the data is sample survey. What is sample survey? Sample survey means instead of collecting information from all the members of the population, you have to collect the information from the part of the population, that is called as sample survey. Only small part of the group, that is populations, only small part of the group is considered, which is taken as representative of whole population. We consider a part of the population and study the population, study that selected population, and the result is applicable to whole population. Result is applicable to whole population. For example, The population census in India implies the counting of each and every human being with the nation. This is the census. Okay, this is the census. But in the sample size, we select or we elect some part of the population. For example, your Jai Bhagyavadi college. Instead of collecting information from each and every student of the college, randomly selecting some students from each class or some students from each faculty and collecting the information from them and applying the result to the whole college. That is called as sample survey. That is called as sample survey. Okay. Main objectives of this sample survey is to get much information as possible of the whole universe by examining only part of it. Instead of studying whole population, studying some part of the population and applying it to the whole population. This is the main objective of the sample survey. And second is to determine reliability of the estimates. To determine the reliability of estimates. The second objective is to determine the reliability of the estimates. Whatever you estimates, that estimation is reliable. This can be done by drawing the successive samples from the some parent universe and comparing the results obtained from the different samples. It is nothing but your reliability on estimation. Your estimation, how you estimate, your thinking capacity. You are expert in estimation and there is no need of collecting information from the all source of the information. Instead of checking each and every product, simply checking one or two products and determining the result. For example, a doctor touches the head of a patient and comes to know the disease or he diagnoses the disease. Okay, these are the two. These are the two objectives of the sampling. In the next class, we will see the advantages and disadvantages of the sampling and types of sampling. Okay. And every day or whenever possible, you go through the Google Drive for your revision. And this first unit is totally theory based. And I'll try to complete this unit in the another 2-3 days. Okay, it is enough today. Thank you.